let's go ahead and pull these windows back.
Woohoo! Are you the Pillsbury Doughboy over here?
I think Shaggy did that for Christmas.
I'm excited!
Halloween one year.
What did he do?
Pillsbury Doughboy.
No, I didn't.
For Halloween. Yeah.
Oh,
Remember
please.
that?
On how we roll?
No, probably when you were 8.
Jane was
That
spying
sense.
on you that entire
That's what every
time.
8-year-old should be.
What?
What do you want, Batman, a ninja? I want to be the Pillsbury Doughboy. Yeah, that's normal. Nothing says loving like cooking from the oven.
Right?
That's what he says, by the way.
That's it.
Anyway.
I was a
Alrighty.
Pillsbury Doughboy when I was 8.
So yeah, here are our heroes sitting down below decks, sitting around a table, maybe getting themselves a bite to eat, and Sister Mary Kimball is sitting over here on the edge of her cot. All right, over to you.
Let's see. We were just attacked by the thing, and we saw the green eye, right? Have we questioned her yet?
Well, you kind of did, but kind of didn't. Like, when she first told you about it, it was very much a, oh, really? Okay, well.
Okay.
So there wasn't really much of a questioning about it. It was more of a, oh, that sounds bad. Anyway, let's go upstairs.
Okay.
Mary, why don't you pull up a barrel or something and eat with us? Great.
Yes, give me just a moment. I'm still trying to compose myself.
I know you had such a fright.
I'm really somewhat confused, to be honest. I'm trying to just gather my wits to understand exactly what just happened. Strange creatures flying out of the water and attacking the ship like that. This is something that, well, with a priestess of Osprey on board, it should have been a good omen. Under normal circumstances, having a priestess of Osprey would have all but guaranteed a safe and peaceful journey. And now I somehow feel like perhaps me being here is actually a bad omen.
Oh no, don't think that. You're not a bad omen. Nobody is. That's just some made up, ship mythology.
Well, women on ships are considered bad luck.
Oh, really?
That's just old wives' tales.
Oh, just sharing my thoughts.
Very old wives' tales. Don't listen to him.
Anyway, they're gone now, right? You took care of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we took care of him all right.
I mean, we didn't take care of the other thing that we saw. It kind of
Other
just
thing?
disappeared.
What other thing?
I'm gonna look to my friends.
It was the thing you described, like, exactly, right? Like,
We saw this giant, something like a water spout come up, and then this great green eye or something, and then it
Paul
ended up
Stone, thank
disappearing,
you for
and
the
then it was
resub. Take
gone.
pants off at your hype.
It was either marking us or looking for you, priestess.
See, as I said, it's me, isn't it? Me being here is a bad thing.
Did we all agree that it was sentient? What if it was just a weather aberration? Reflection of the light?
just like her vision she said she had seen, her dream.
Maybe she'd seen one before, just doesn't remember.
You said it was following us, getting closer. That is not a aberration.
Could have been the wind pattern, could have been many things. The sea is a strange place.
Not that strange.
It's pretty strange. We got attacked by these flying things.
I
couldn't even get down a rope ladder. That's pretty strange. I'll tell you that.
This is my first time out really in the big wide ocean, so I don't know if that's normal or not. Didn't seem like it. The crew kind of freaked out.
Crews are always superstitious on boats like this.
I don't think we should just dismiss it as nothing.
Definitely not dismiss it. I think it was looking at us personally.
Why?
Well, none of those things that came out of the water went below deck for her, if she was the true target.
So it saw us and then confirmed whatever it wanted to see and then left?
Well,
I can't explain more than that, except the fact that we all feel like we're going in the right direction now. We feel pulled this way.
Maybe that thing feels pulled in the same direction as us. Maybe.
From the wind, like I said.
Or perhaps whatever it is that you're being compelled to go south for, perhaps it doesn't want you to make it south. Perhaps it wants to make sure you don't arrive at your destination.
Why would it care what I do? I don't understand.
What the what? Thanks for the resub, my friend. Appreciate it. Hands off, hit the hype.
That's one way to get.
Thank you, Flan. All right.
I was really excited about that.
It's so funny.
That's so good.
Moment while you guys just want to play a little more.
I love it. Love it.
Can
Well,
you type out your order in chat, please?
yeah, right? Or
Yeah.
you want to know my order?
We need to know what you want for your burrito.
Hi, bird. Black
A steak hybrid. There you go, with black beans
Spanish rice,
and Spanish rice.
mixed cheese,
Are you sure about all of this?
cilantro,
Judge you really hard. Ooh, I like
lime
that.
juice.
Anyway,
Roasted garlic. Tortilla strips.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Sorry.
I love it. There you go.
anyway.
All right, so in case you didn't get that, that's a steak hybrid, black beans, Spanish rice, mixed cheese, cilantro, lime juice, roast garlic, tortilla chips. There you go. There's your
If
order.
anyone wants to, DoorDash that at any random time, fine with that.
That's it.
Anyway,
Epic.
so Priestess, if you have a dream like that again, you have to tell us because maybe that was a warning. Maybe you do still have some powers.
Well, as I said, I don't entirely know. I just know that it's not coming from my god. I don't know where it's coming from. Did I told you about the other vision that I had? With the large man with matted kelp hair wearing beautiful scaled armor, carrying a trident. He was riding on a giant dragon turtle.
What? The first time hearing of it. I
No,
wasn't.
remember that. I remember that. Well, we haven't seen one of those yet, so hopefully he's nice, whoever that is.
Yeah, is he a nice guy?
Is he mean in your dream?
Well,
Is it a mean dream?
Cyrano just repeats. Did I say it right? Yes, you're real. Is he not? I'm just gonna stop talking.
Is he nice? Did you answer? I didn't hear you.
I don't think I got an answer.
Well, I don't rightly know, to be honest. But while I must confess, I never truly studied as I should other religions, I do recall the god Cord. One of his images, one of his chosen avatars was something that sounds remarkably familiar to that.
Cord?
He
Like
was the storm god.
C-O-R-D?
The god of storms.
Oh,
Hmm.
does anyone know the name of the god of storms?
Stormy?
No, it's
Cloud Man?
Cord. It
No,
would have
that's
been
that guy.
Cord.
Lord?
Yes.
Oh, the guy you just said.
Yes, if you would actually listen to a word I said, I understand.
Sister.
Those that...
Okay.
I mean, Cord and Osprey have always been... Well, had a good accord. Pardon the pun. They've long since been friendly deities, and whereas one would worship Osprey for safe travel on the open seas, one would
Right.
also beseech Cord to grant them fair weather and to keep the storms at bay.
So if Osprey isn't answering your prayers anymore, do you think the same thing's happening with the followers of Cord?
Perhaps.
Did you know any followers?
Alas, no. When I was a young initiate, a couple of priests from that religion came to visit the Temple of the Wave, and High Priestess Aldersea, Adelaine Horley introduced them to us, but that was many years ago.
Perhaps wherever we end up docking here, that we'll find some believers of this god,
Perhaps?
and we can talk to them.
I think that's a good plan.
Because if both gods aren't talking to us, then that's the problem. But if he's still around, and maybe your dream meant something, maybe you're supposed to follow him instead or something.
Yeah. Maybe he's trying to recruit you or something.
Right.
Yeah,
Do gods do that? Do they recruit?
they should.
Yes, they do, but
How
not
about Panther?
in that way.
And thanks for the reminder, mods. I forgot to start the betting. Yeah, if you want to bet on who's going to roll the first natural 20 tonight, you can do so right now. Exclamation point bet, followed by 0 for Jane, 1 for Shagget, 2 for Snugs, 3 for Chris Tactics, 4 for Nobody. And you can bet up to 500 of your gold. Get your bets in now. There you go. Okay.
Do it.
Just do it!
Maybe it's a new form of outreach. You'll probably get more people if you do it that way.
It's a great marketing campaign.
Absolutely.
Do you even believe in them, Serrano?
I don't not believe in them. It's just something I don't really think
Serrano.
about. Thank you. Do you want to know how I remember it?
How?
I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret. Ha! Anyways, it's just something I don't really put much stock in, I guess. They've never helped me or hurt me, so what's the point? I am who I am through my own actions. So,
Well, whenever we get to where we're going, we need to find out what's that I is associated with, because I don't think it is associated with Cord. It's a little bit more malicious in intention, I feel.
Oh.
And yes, I do believe it is sentient,
Oh.
or was.
I don't know.
So wait, the beautiful swamp guy that she described, that's Cord?
Well, I don't know whether I would say swamp guy. I mean, yes, he has matted kelp hair
Okay.
and
Beautiful swamp guy.
brilliant, shining scaled armor, riding on the back of a giant dragon turtle.
Wouldn't that be a sight to see?
it's a little swampy.
It's a
a kelp.
swamp.
That's fine, yeah. Bad choice.
Sounds hot. All right, so then yeah, we just find some other church people and we'll ask them if their gods have forsaken them too. Sounds like a good plan.
That's a great conversation starter. Excuse me. Have your gods forsaken you? It's a real light conversation as we walk into town for the first time. Absolutely
it.
perfect.
All we need
Well,
to
we
do
can
is
sweet talk them first.
look at their face, and if they look all sad and
Godless?
godless. If there's no shine in the eyes.
Excuse me, miss, you're looking
It's
particularly
God is
godless today. Can I interest you in some religion?
So what do we do in the meantime? If before we get to port, and if that green eye shows up again, try to talk to it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see ears or a mouth on it, just an eye. So
So we do. Maybe thieves can't.
We just try to survive it, I would say.
What if you
Or it might throw something else at us.
Great.
Does the captain wish to have any kind of service for his fallen sailors? Do we know? If so, I could definitely. I mean, my blessing won't stand for much, but at least it would show a mark of respect for those that are dead.
there, let's see. We could ask. I don't think he mentioned it.
I please, when you do see the captain, let him know that I'm more than willing to help out and do whatever I can. I understand we were running on a very, very limited crew anyway, and now if we have lost crew members, I'm sure that the rest of us are going to have to work doubly hard to keep things afloat, as it were.
Mary, that's very kind of you. And yes, I might let you just run the kitchen, and I'll try to help above deck for the rest of the time.
Yeah, at that, I'm gonna stand up and I think we go and get back to work.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, in that case then, if none of you are doing anything other than returning back up deck, it won't be long before the captain comes back and the bosun comes back, and they pretty much give a speech that's kind of echoes what was just said. Like, look, we're shorthanded now. Everyone's going to have to work harder. Everybody's going to have to pull more duties. Some of the minor things, like swabbing decks and stuff, it's going to have to take a back seat. Everybody still mind your step, because it will get slippery. Do the best we can, and pray that nothing else bad happens. Okay, as he's saying this, you can't help but feel he's like glancing at you as he kind of goes over this last little part, like somewhat suspicious. And you can also see that all the sailors seem to be looking at you a little bit more dubiously than they did before as well. Like, what exactly did they say in their little meeting that we were not part of?
Uh-oh.
I honestly thought we would be a part of that meeting.
I thought we were too.
Yeah. Nope.
I
Wait,
planned what I was gonna say and everything. I was like, he's gonna say this and this and yeah.
Well, hey, if you want to, I mean, you're all there now on deck. If you want to throw it out there, you're absolutely capable of doing so now.
It's not relevant now.
All right. Okay. Well, you're going to be at sea for about another month. A good, solid, arduous, and difficult month at sea. Nothing else particularly bad happens. There are some storms. The ship does get tossed around a few times, but it is a good, sturdy vessel. And between them kind of really, Cyrano, you kind of get a bit of a lighter task of it than anybody else, because the captain is constantly telling you to get up in that crow's nest and look for things.
Perfect.
Be on, to the point where you're probably up there way more than you need. You're getting wetter than everybody else, colder than you are. But at least you're not having to yank ropes and swab decks and do all the other hard work stuff.
Yep.
Lash down cargo when it breaks free. But after another full solid month more at sea, eventually, Cyrano, you see one fine morning as the sun rises from the crow's nest, the faint outline of land in the far, far distance.
I'll kind of lean over the crow's nest and say, "Land ho!"
With that, everybody kind of like stops what they're doing and rushes to the side of the ship, and they're all looking eagerly to see if this is in fact true. Captain pulls out his eyeglass, and peers across the bow, looking in that direction, and everybody waits on his bated breath. And immediately he screams, "Land ho indeed!" And everybody's like, "Yeah!" And they all start cheering, and everybody's all excited. And by now it's a good thing because food is starting to run a little bit scarce. Rum rations are incredibly low, and the morale on this boat is getting pretty abysmal. But 2 or 3 hours later, you find yourselves moored up on the edge. Let's move you down here.
Ooh.
Of a coastal village known as Shore Barrow. Let me go ahead and zoom this out a little bit for everybody so we can see the whole map.
Shore Barrel?
Shore Barrow.
Barrow, okay.
Zoom in a bit more. I do hate the way this sometimes does its thing. Okay. So, yep, you've arrived at Shore Barrow. You guys are quick and eager to get off the ship. Immediately, a lot of docklanders come over and make their way over to the boat itself, and they start to maneuver and lay down the gangplanks to start getting the cargo and everything that was being carried on this merchant vessel off and down onto the docks. Okay. You are... Each of you, I believe, was promised payment because you were working. It was a working journey. So you get the other half of the payment that was promised you.
Hooray!
Everybody remembers. If not, you'll get shortchanged.
No.
Well, I remember 1,000 gold.
Oh, you remember wrong. Very, very wrong.
I'd rather be over.
I remember 2 million gold.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 million gold pieces. Okay, but yeah. So noticeable things about Shore Barrow. Obviously, it's a coastal town. It's got a large dock area. It has a lighthouse over here because not too far to the west of this area, you can see a lot of jagged cliffs and large rocks in the sea. So the lighthouse is there to guide people away from such a dangerous approach to the land itself. But once all has been taken care of, we'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit for everybody. And
Ooh, I
we'll
love
put you
this
guys
song.
right here
Makes me want to be at the beach.
as you come down off the ship. Okay. Directly ahead of you, you can see various different buildings. There's a bustling market over to the left. There appears to be a large building to your right, which is right here. Let me pull up my other notes real quick. Sorry. Get my notes. Okay,
Backstab everyone.
which has got a large sign, which looks like something out of a, late 70s semi-horror movie. There's a huge big shark's mouth about to
Ooh.
swallow what looks like a mermaid. And below it says Shark Bite Tavern.
Hey,
And then
nice.
directly beneath that, there's some other much smaller writing, but you can't read it from here.
Okay. And do we feel like when we get to this, how we're feeling this pole to the south, has it gone away?
Okay, interesting that you should say that, because the second you got off the ship, walked down the dock to where you actually made contact with the, with the earth itself,
Yeah.
yes, the feeling instantly just vanished. Like it abandoned you as if it was like some sad, lonely uncle had just like up and left you in the height of Christmas or something. Like literally you're just
Okay.
you're standing there feeling like You've had this feeling like we haven't seen this, we've had this for so long. Let me explain it to you. You're already doubting. No, it's like, you had this feeling you hadn't had this feeling of completion for a long, long time. Suddenly you see and feel something that you've been missing. And then the next minute, it's just not there anymore. Instantly disappeared.
Okay.
You're making it worse.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
I'm gonna whip around everybody and just suddenly go,
A lot of shame.
what are we doing here?
Well, what were we gonna ask around with religion?
No, it's just
What's
this
wrong?
whole time I felt like I needed to go here, and it's gone. Have I made it to the place where I'm supposed to go? What am I doing here?
Okay,
What am I supposed to do?
Calm down.
All right.
Take a breath.
Yes. Breath.
Good.
Easy.
Maybe it was just a call for adventure. Maybe you were just getting a little cooped up, feeling a little squirrely, needed to
I
get
was
out,
perfectly happy at home.
stretch your sea legs. And now that you did it, you feel better.
Go home now.
You want to go home after coming all this way already?
I miss my mother.
Perhaps we should get something to eat.
3
At the
months at
very
sea.
least.
Yeah, this is cool. Let's go home.
Maybe you feel empty because you're hungry. Got a little rumbling in your tummy, huh?
Maybe you just missed the ship. Go stand on the ship and see if it comes back.
Yeah, go stand on the ship real quick, see if that changes anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Worth a shot.
I'm going to be very honest. I'm a little tempted to do that, but that's very silly.
Well, we won't tell anyone.
All right.
That didn't take much persuading, did it?
I'm gonna go real quick. Just go back on. Just like see if there's still room to just slide back on it. Just walk on the plank up the ship.
It's like when you're
Unless
on the line and you're just like, I'm here.
Or I'm assuming they're still unloading a bunch of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. They're gonna be here a couple of days.
All right. I'm just gonna go stand on the ship real quick
Okay.
and see if I feel any different.
How long are you gonna stand there?
30 seconds.
Yeah, no. You don't feel any different.
All right. You just hear as I run back.
And
Scampering like a little mouse. Yeah, I knew it was a very stupid idea, but I thought I'd try it anyway.
well, you said it was silly, not stupid, but all right.
Well, silly, excuse
What? Now we know.
Excuse my language. I'm just a bit flabbergasted, and I came all this
Food will
way,
help us all.
and now I'm just confused.
Yeah, let's eat.
I
All
think
right.
I was on the right track. Maybe you're feeling empty because you're hungry.
Okay, that's quite a simple explanation, I guess.
Well, that's how you start with the simple ones. Ever heard of Occam's razor? Does that exist in this reality?
No, it doesn't.
All right, well, ever hear of Akrabah's
Hey,
razor?
look at that! Why don't we go to that place? The Shark Bite Tavern.
Great, let's go.
All right.
Okay. Once you get closer to it, you can read the smaller writing. It actually underneath it says Sharkbite Tavern, and then underneath it says and Gambling Hall.
Ooh.
Gambling
right.
hall.
Yeah, let me. Let's go ahead and move you inside.
Damn
here.
it.
Gambler.
Oh, yes, gambling is a thing.
Let me line you up proper, real quick. This is why I always like to size my maps all the same, then I don't have to mess with Roll20's resizing, which is less than perfect. Okay, there we go. All right, so we'll go ahead and get you guys in here.
It's super quiet.
I know,
So
right?
quiet in here.
Everyone's gambling. You need to concentrate.
Radio.
Tavern, gambling den, and library all in one.
Oh.
It's one bookshelf in the corner.
And museum.
My library is very loud.
Oh, they're cooking that. Never mind.
Oh.
Thought it was on display.
Beautiful. Wow. Look at this little place.
Okay, so each of you comes wandering in. So a quick glance around the room, you can see a large fire over to the left with a couple of people kind of sitting on a large bearskin rug warming themselves. There's another fire in the far corner, but this one is being reserved for cooking of various different meats and fish by their chef. Mounted on that fireplace is the skeleton of a large hammerhead shark. Also, you notice behind you, the doors have got, like, directly above the door is a huge, big, open mouth of a shark. Simple decor. Other than that, there's a few fishermen nets floating around. There's a whole bunch of seafaring paraphernalia. But as kind of the name implied, you can see that a large table to your right, there is a group of people that seem to be involved in some kind of card game. There's some dice games over in the far right-hand side, a couple of smaller tables. Other than that, there's a big open bar. Behind the bar are a couple of interesting folk that you can see. The first of which is a very attractive, tall, red-headed woman. She's probably in her mid to early 20s. Long red hair. She's about 5'5". And the way she's kind of like slinging drinks and kind of barking orders, you would guess that she's probably in charge. The other individual is a dwarf who has a hand missing. His right hand is completely gone and is in fact being replaced by what looks like some kind of metal stump that's got ornate engravings all over it.
His hand is a stump.
Yeah, instead of a hand, he's basically got sort of like
Just
a
confirm.
metal cap that's
Alright.
put over the stump, and there's all kind of
Not
engravings
like a
on it.
tree stump, Jane.
Yes.
Tree stump.
You guys get a table and food. And I'm just gonna wander into the place.
Uh-oh.
All right. And I'm gonna go walk over to this empty table here and take a seat.
Okay.
Good to me.
It's gonna be here. Always
Okay.
here.
Where am I?
Wait, did I grab Jane instead of me?
Yes, you did.
Dead.
Oopsie.
How dare.
I'm sorry.
Okay, there I am. So walk up, sit up, sorry.
Carried you over. Shut that puppy up.
Jane Zoo is slowly forming behind her on her bed.
She's got a big
Cats and
pig
dogs and
next.
all kinds of things. Okay. All right, so you guys have all kind of pretty much hogged a table, kind of close to the food. So there's a delicious waft that's coming from the fire. There's a whole pig that's being roasted currently on a slow turning spit roast. The cook himself is like a rough, rugged, kind of pitted-faced man. He's got a red beard, red hair kind of tied back in a ponytail. And as I said, he's got all these like little pits in his face. Not entirely sure how and why. Maybe that's partially why he's got such a huge beard, to try to cover up a lot of that. But he is avidly hacking up different sections of meat and slinging them on iron grates on the fireplace to cook. It looks like behind him he's got chickens, fish, sausage, beef, you name it. There's a vast array of different things that you could have cooked.
Cool.
Is there a waitress or anybody coming around to...
There is a serving boy that you see that's just kind of walked by your table.
Serving boy! Serving boy!
Okay, the boy turns around. He's about 5'9". He's rather skinny, fairly good-looking young lad. Kind of looks back and goes, "Just a minute," as he goes over to this table and drops off another round of drinks.
Take your time. Just want to let you know we're here.
Alrighty, and then he's gonna come back to your table to find out exactly what you guys want. While that's going on, so it looks like
Oh no.
Alekma has stomped
Oh, no.
over to
Oh my goodness.
one of the dice games that's currently in play.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm basically gonna spend the first little bit looming over the table, looking at the dice, seeing what they're doing.
Okay.
If they regard me at all, I'll of course talk to them, but I'm just like observing their movements and how they're playing the game.
So you're trying to learn the game?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Basically, it's a fairly simple game. They're rolling 3 dice. Simple 6-sided dice, nothing fancy for obvious reasons. The dice themselves look like they're carved from some kind of bone or ivory. And literally what they're doing is they're rolling the dice, taking the lowest one away, and then the other person is betting whether or not they can roll higher than that. And literally they escalate until one person either ups the ante or, no, roll it. And then they roll, and if they succeed in beating that number, they take the pot. If they fail, the other person takes the pot. Simple stuff.
Okay, so if any of them look up at me, the first thing I'm going to say is, how do you make sure all the dice are the same, weight-wise and roll-wise?
Okay, well, if you're going to loom, being that you are an incredibly massive person, it's only going to be a couple of uncomfortable rolls before they do look at you. So when you ask that, the gentleman that's kind of wearing, he's got like a flowing blue cloak. He has got fairly well-fitting greyish clothes. He looks at you and he says, well, we don't necessarily take care of that. That's, the dice are provided by the house.
But you both are using the same dice all the time, right?
Oh, right, yes. As is customary, you must use the same dice. It wouldn't be fair otherwise.
A concept I know and appreciate.
Oh, you're familiar with dice games then?
We made dice in my old tribe, but it rolled weird all the time. It was off of the teeth of fallen creatures we ate.
Oh, I see. Well, most of these are made from various different, bones. I don't know whether a teeth is necessary.
Yes.
How big a teeth do you people have that you can make dice from them?
Big animals eat plants. They have the square teeth.
Oh, I see. So the teeth of the animals you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god. The square teeth.
The square teeth. the square teeth. Yes. Well, they had the shape already in them a little bit. Just little carving.
I see. So they just square them off and make the dots, is what you're saying.
Paint numbers on them, yes.
Well, I could see why you'd think it was entirely probable that the dice would not be well balanced. These are actually very well made. If you'd like to pick them up and have a throw, just for, for the sake of
Money.
it.
Yeah, well, sure. I just got paid.
You'd like to play?
I will do this.
You want to play? Is that what you're saying?
No, well, I'm going to eat with my friends first. Maybe after.
Well, fine. We'll be playing for a little bit longer yet. So, once a table becomes free, just let us know, and you can join in if you'd like.
Well, thank you. Good luck.
What was your name, big fella?
Olekma. Olekma Valu Kanathi.
Olekma.
And your name?
Oh, Ranald.
Reynold, okay.
I suppose with your accent it would be Reynold, but around here we say Ranald. But that's fine, fine.
I will try to remember that. I'll tell that to Serrano over there.
Oh, see, here we'd say Serrano.
Across the room.
He's a little man, so it's inconsequential anyway. But I will be back. We'll play.
Well, enjoy yourself. I heartily recommend the roasted. The roasted fish is pretty good. The snapper is delicious. But if you're not into fish, there's some sausage that they make with pork and apple that's absolutely delicious too. Fresh made here in town.
Well, thank you. I will suggest it. Have a good one.
Hi, you too.
I'm just gonna lumber, kind of knocking into things, but also not. clumsy with and just return.
Right.
and
Meanwhile,
Meebo.
so the young lad is there to take your order. So he just kind of looks at you. Do you know what you want, or should I make suggestions?
How
Deal.
special.
The house special? House special's always fish.
Perfect. Wait, no, I've had too much of that.
Oh, did you travel in from did you come in by sea?
Yes, we did.
Oh, well,
Several months up there, too.
as he's kind of looking at you, he says, you're an interesting bunch, for sure. I don't recall seeing a man, or indeed a lady, quite as large as this
Thank
around
you.
here.
Or a man quite as dashing, I'm sure.
You don't have
Quite,
to answer
yes.
that.
Quite.
Good answer.
What's the biggest thing you have?
Well, I suppose that would be a whole chicken.
That, please. I'll take that.
Okay, so one whole chicken.
One chicken.
What else?
Wine?
Oh, well, we have plenty of wine.
What would you recommend?
Well, there's a great liking by many of the patrons for a wine that's brewed up north. It's a fine, fruity red wine. Don't know how well it pairs with chicken, to be honest, but it's what most people drink.
I'll try the local stuff. Let's do that. Thank you.
Oh, fine. And what about the rest of you?
What's the fanciest thing you have?
Probably the fish.
I will take one order of the fish.
How would
And
you
I-
like it cooked? Would you like it, which sort of spices? We have a blackened type of fish, lemon pepper, or there's one that they use that's kind of got a strange kind of curry flavour to it.
I'll take the blackened, please, and I'll have it paired with your finest of white wines, if you have any.
Oh, absolutely. We have some great vintages that are available, so I'm told.
Yum. Great. I'll take it. Thank you.
All right, so fish and white wine, a whole chicken.
I'll have whatever, wouldn't be any trouble. You know?
Well, none of it's trouble, miss. It's all
Trouble
right there
again,
behind you. The chef prepares it fresh to order. I mean, I suppose if you want something already cooked, you could just have some of the roasted pig.
Sure, yeah, that. But whatever's easiest.
Fine, and to drink? Ale? That's pretty easy.
Yes.
And finally for you, sir.
My new friends over there playing that dice game suggested something with your sausage.
Oh,
Sausage
the apple
meal.
and pork sausage. It's delicious.
I'll have 2 of those and some ale, please.
Well, fine. I'll fetch it right up. Am I going to be starting a tab, or do you want to pay as you go?
A stunner tab, my good boy.
Excellent. Right. What name shall I put on the tab?
His.
You're a no.
Cyrano. Fair enough.
Sure, absolutely. I'll be the head of the table.
As I said, the food is cooked fresh to order, except for I believe we've probably got 2 or 3 chickens already on, and the sausage doesn't take long. Fish is pretty quick to cook, so it shouldn't be too long. Give us 30 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All right.
you.
And he heads back off to do other things.
That was quite the ordeal.
What,
Order?
ordering food?
Yes.
That's one of the easiest orders I think I've seen for a table of 4, to be honest with you. It can get pretty messy sometimes.
There were just so many options, you know?
Well, isn't that good? Don't you want options?
Yeah, I love the spread
I
they have
want to
here.
know why I'm here.
Because you're hungry. You need to eat.
It's not that simple, Cyrano. It's internal. It's this feeling. Well, lack of feeling, really.
Maybe
Well,
that's you're supposed to be here.
Yeah, I must admit, I too feel lighter since we got here. I just thought maybe it was the perils of our journey finally coming to an end.
You do too. How about you two?
I thought I was just seasick.
Oh.
Annie, I'm confident we will find the reason we're here. We just have to live, and it'll happen.
I don't think that's a good way of living my life. I'm not just going to sit around and wait for something to come up to me.
We already have a plan, remember? We're gonna talk to some other priestesses. And
Right.
we're gonna get to the bottom of the green eye, and then
Bottom of the green eye. Right. I'm
we'll
going to
find
stand
your
up.
purpose in life.
I'm going to stand up and look around for anyone who looks like they're wearing robes.
Anyone wearing
Or looks
robes?
like they're
Anyone looking
godless.
priestly? Okay. Yeah, so if you're going to kind of glance around, there's no... I mean, is that specifically what you're looking for? Or you want me to kind of give you a description of anything that might strike your eye as being odd?
First, I would look around for something that looks like a religious person, and if I don't see anything, I'll see if there's just something
Okay,
striking.
so yeah, there's nobody that immediately kind of stands out as priestly in any way, shape, or form. Most
How
people
about
here are
godless in
wearing
their
a
eyes?
mixture of either common garb or
Okay.
noble garb, but no one's really wearing anything of a robed uniform of any kind.
What about this person? Looks like the Pope.
Well, you see, this is a woman wearing a very large, baggy dress with a white bonnet on.
She's very frumpy.
Yeah.
What is that hat? Is that a mohawk? A green?
Okay, so this is an old dude that's kind of got like his hair is fast disappearing, and all he's got is kind of a small rim around it.
Sizing everyone up in here.
Specifically, she's paying
Andy.
attention
What
to their
about this
headdress.
guy?
Yeah, what about,
This guy.
All right.
what about this?
Annie, sit down. Relax.
Right.
We just ask our waiter for information on religious people, if you're so anxious.
What a noble idea.
Yes, I'm sure he'll know the local scuttlebutt. Working in a place like this,
Look at
don't have to talk
Sir, and I'm like, what?
scuttlebutt. It's a term, sailor term. It's the rumors,
I see.
But
The
we're not
tavern.
on a boat.
the talk of the town. We're in a port town. They'll have that much lingo. You have to understand. There are finer points to conversations. No matter where you are, you shift a little bit, like a chameleon.
All right. Can you teach me
I'm too big to be a chameleon.
a few tips that I can try to
I don't shift well.
I don't blend in.
Good.
So what's something I should change then?
Are you writing
Out.
this down?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Well, there's some things you need to notice. Is first, you want them to speak, so you understand how they communicate.
Why? Okay. You're treating them as others and not, just one of
Well,
us.
would you say everyone's different?
Yes.
Do you think that you respond better to people who are more like you? In a general sense?
I suppose.
Well, there you are. You're not changing who you are, it's just more how you communicate to them. You see?
And how would this apply to Britannica and myself?
The same goes. What do you mean?
Are we
So
supposed to make ourselves
you want
shorter?
What?
so you want me to wait for people to talk to me first. So I just stand there looking at them.
Well, you can initiate the conversation, but you want them to do more of the talking. Like, for example, the boy comes back and you say, "What is the gossip around town?" He might not answer you, but if you said, "What's the scuttlebutt around town, sailor?" he might be more apt to tell you information.
I'll be honest, I feel less inclined to the second thing you said.
Yeah, but you're not from here.
We should test it out.
You're not either, by the way.
What's that? No, of course I'm not. But I know that it's a port town and they have their own lingo.
Let's try out your strategy then.
Yes.
Alekma, you try his delivery and see what happens.
Try my delivery. Try it on. It fits all shapes and sizes. You don't have to worry.
When he
So
comes
you-
back, you say scuttlebutt.
Obviously you want me to say, what's the scuttlebutt?
What's
Well-
scuttlebutt sailor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's not a sailor. But you're asking what the scuttlebutt is. Oh, wait, do you want to suggest? Are you looking for something specific?
Okay, I got it. I know what else there.
Okay. This is just step one. This is chameleoning 101. Not the finer points, just sort of the stepping stones, the building blocks.
I like it. A test.
More of a lesson, but sure, pop quiz. Give it a shot.
All right. When he comes back.
I will play. I will play this game.
You like games. This is a game. Server boy.
All right, he comes back over and delivers your drinks.
Nice.
Food's not quite ready yet, sir.
Yes.
So it won't be long.
You, what's the scuttlebutt, waiter?
The scuttlebutt waiter.
No, waiter.
Waiter?
You're a waiter. You wait on people, no?
Oh, I see.
What's the scuttlebutt?
What's the
Sir.
scuttlebutt? About specifically what?
Religious people.
Well, we do have a church here for the Temple of Cord. But beyond that, although now you come to mention it, there has been quite a lot of talk in the tavern about religion.
Oh yes, this is fantastic. Continue, please.
No, wait. Before you get into it, if I had said, what's the word around town, waiter, would that have been better for you? To understand what I was
Well, I'd
saying.
have probably asked you the same question. The word about what? Specifically.
And then I would say waiter as in you're the waiter.
Right.
What's the word around town? You would say the same thing, or would you feel more at ease?
Well,
Does
Yeah,
scuttlebutt offend you, basically?
no.
Is what I'm getting at.
No, not at all. I mean, you got to realise that this is a seafaring town. A lot of people come here and they have a flagrant use of a very colourful language.
So I'm going to ponder this,
Down,
like,
Matt.
sincerely. Then I'm going to look at Cyrano and be like, I will listen to you from now on.
Thank you. That's all I ask.
Sorry, sir. Waiter. Whatever.
Where is this Church of a Cord?
Wait. What were you about to say?
Yeah, the really important plot.
The really important thing he was going to say. Rule number 2, everyone, don't stop the conversation for no reason. Please continue.
He says, so, oh yes, I was about to say that there has been a lot of talk here lately about religion. Something strange seems to be going on.
Oh no.
There's this apprehension. Everybody seems to be a bit uneasy. The priests of Cord, they've not really been coming down to the tavern like they used to, and everybody's really started to get a little bit nervous about approaching them. Seem to be a little bit out of sorts here of late.
Anyone? No? The one who cares about this?
So are they just cooped up in the church then? Should we go,
For the most part, they seem to keep themselves to themselves. They used to be quite a friendly, outgoing bunch. It was common for sailors to go and visit right before a journey, and they'd knock
Right.
on the door and make an offering, and they'd get a blessing. Sometimes they'd pay and they'd come down and bless the ship.
could you tell us how to get there? The church.
Well, let's see. If you go out the door, you're going to want to take a left, and it's kind of right on the far eastern edge of town. You can't miss it. It's a great, big, tall building. Largest building in town.
Oh, okay, so I'll just look up then.
Well, if you look up and in the right direction, you'll see it for sure.
If you look up and look south, you're not gonna see shit.
He said, but no, for the most part, it's not like anybody's at loggerheads with the priests. It's just that they've just become very reserved, very reclusive.
Okay. Thank you for the scuttlebutt. Yes, thank you.
Right, well, your friend here seems to be, well, he seems to understand the cut of everybody's jib around here. So, have you been here before?
Who, me? Who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, no, but I do pride myself on being able to fit in just about anywhere.
Well, you
Not with
definitely
that
seem
voice.
to have a knack for the local jargon, as it were.
What was that? I'm sorry, my friend was very rude a moment ago. Couldn't
No, I
understand.
was saying you have a knack for the local jargon.
Oh, yes, that's sort of my whole vibe.
Well, seeing as you are new and all, what I would do is, and he kind of like looks over his shoulder. He says, "You see the short, stunty fella with the missing hand?
Yes?
I'd give him a nautical wide berth if I were you. He's
Oh,
not in
why
a
is
very
that?
good mood today, and he's
how
known
come?
for his, well, unabridged temper, as it were."
Well, what's got him so riled up today?
Well, you see, I don't think anybody's quite had the nerve to ask him. He
What's
just
his name?
showed up this morning and was in a shitty, foul mood. So we pretty much just kind of said, well, you know what? Leave him to himself. Let's just stay out of the way and let him get on with it.
Is he a local?
No, that's Tom. He's
So-
he's the bartender here. His full name is Tom Ironbeard,
Riddle.
but everyone around there just calls him Tom Zid.
I swear you're gonna say Bombadil. I was gonna cry.
Tom Zid?
Zid,
Zed.
Zid.
Does he like that name?
Well, doesn't tend to knock anybody's teeth out when they call him that, so it's probably okay.
What does he get mad about? Normally. He said he has a temper, just anything?
He's a grumpy son of a bitch. You can't really tell. Just about anything could piss him off.
And he's from town.
Aye. He's lived there for a good number of years. But don't ask him about the stump.
Okay.
That's a definite good policy.
I would never.
Good to
That's
know.
quite a faux pas.
But if you're curious, I could tell you exactly what happened.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ooh.
Well,
Wait,
you
I
see,
don't know if you'd appreciate this.
What he doesn't know won't hurt him. It's loud enough in here. He won't hear us at a whisper.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "No, Tom lost his hand to a shark. Old One-Eye, they call him. Great big, dirty, great white beast that circles round the coast.
Wow.
Some of the smaller
Cool.
fishing boats have been attacked by it. The rumour has it that Tom took one of his eyes, but in the process he lost his arm. Well, his hand, anyway.
Wow. That's insane.
Is this what I'm thinking is, Gore?
Don't know what you mean.
It absolutely is. I love you. Okay. Oh,
Don't
that's
know
quite a
what
tale.
you mean.
I don't know.
He said, but yes, so he lost his hand and he's not stepped foot in a ship ever since. Won't go to sea. Now, he says that he has never really had a good set of sea legs and has got no business being, being on the water. No dwarf has. Of course, anybody that wants to get on his wrong side likes to point out that he's scared and he got frightened of the water. Well, that's a sure way of getting that engraven steel stump rammed halfway down your throat at the expense of several of your good teeth.
Right, that's not a very nice thing to do. So is this whale still actively attacking all of your ships?
You think it's a whale?
Oh, it's not a whale.
It's not a whale?
It's a shark. A great big shark. Oh, And another
Sorry,
thing,
shark.
if you see old Tom talking to himself, it's okay.
Okay.
Tom's got an imaginary friend.
What?
Got an imaginary friend.
Oh,
Talks to somebody that nobody can see. He's not really there.
What does he say?
Seems to have a conversation with this. Whatever it is, whoever it is.
is he always talking to him? Is his
No,
friend
just
right next to him all the time?
Seems to be close to whatever Tom is. I mean, sometimes he'll just turn around and say things to thin air and turn back, and sometimes you'll see him shaking his head and like, oh, shut up, shut up. Like he's listening to somebody. Not entirely sure, but again, most people haven't got the nerve to ask him about it. Those that have, he just... Nothing, ignore it, ignore me.
So, perhaps that's why he's always says in a bad mood.
Maybe.
If something's talking to him and he's waving it off, and
Don't rightly know. I mean, it doesn't seem to bother him all the time. Just every great once in a while, he seems to just turn around and just start chatting away to nothing.
I'd be very interested to speak with this Tom.
Well, do so at your own risk. As I said, he's in a foul mood today. You might do better to catch him tomorrow if he's a little happier.
I'm gonna look around to see him. Is he just working?
Yeah, he's behind the bar right here serving.
Yeah. Okay.
Is he here every day?
Aye, pretty much.
Thank you for the the scuttlebutt.
Aye, now you're getting it.
Does he own the place?
No, Rose does. And he points at the redhead. That's Rose Thatcher. She's the tavern owner, and sometimes she also doubles up as a cook. But she inherited the place from a dead husband, George.
Cool.
So it must be a pretty hard pill to swallow for him to work at a place called the Shark Bite Tavern, huh?
Well, funny enough, there was talk at one point of whether it would be politically correct to change the name. But in a place like this, the irony is worth its weight in gold.
Oh, it's a great gag. I get it. Okay. Well, thank you for your time. I'm sure you're very busy.
Well, I think your food's ready. If you'll just give me a minute.
Absolutely, thank you.
And he just goes over here and picks up all the things you ordered and turns around and slings them back on your table.
Sweet. Okay.
You did it!
Well, how do you feel, Alekma?
I feel like I don't quite belong here.
Even though
Although-
he responded like that?
No, I see the value of your information.
Wisdom.
Sure.
That's a good word.
Still don't feel comfortable. Although I am kneeling at this table. Could be why.
Well, it's not always about feeling comfortable. It's about showing that you feel comfortable.
Yes, and to that, Anna, you feel better, right?
No, I feel...
Well, we have a place to go now.
Yes, we do have the place to go, but it seems ominous, and I have this bad feeling that the same thing has happened to this church as well. Which gives me a not so good feeling. Because if the gods are disappearing, well, I don't know. I hope my god doesn't disappear.
Your god being...
Goddess Myris. I don't talk about her much. She's very personal to me, but I do worship her. Should we talk to this fellow today or wait till tomorrow?
Well, today's a good time as any, though I suggest we eat first.
I don't know if it's a good time as any because he's so angry.
Sounds like he's always angry.
Are we talking about the priests of Cord or the
No.
bard? Or Tom?
Oh, the cool guy
Tom,
over
The
there.
bartender. And sometimes
So-
when people are angry, they're apt to spill the beans a little more.
We can ask him why he's got a stick up his scuttlebutt. You like it?
Joke.
I'm learning the jargon.
I could have sworn we were warned not to do this.
Oh,
Well, you just have to approach the situation with a little bit of tact.
yeah.
Yeah, Britannica, you know what that is? You?
Sure.
Okay.
I didn't volunteer. I'm eating chicken.
I think you just volunteered yourself to talk to Tom. He might like himself a woman such as you.
Yes.
Beautiful and strong.
Mm-hmm. Loud?
You don't think he's going to be intimidated by me?
It might be better than me. He'd probably just rush me off.
Mm-hmm.
He'll at least give you the time of day for a second.
Am I?
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Why do we need to talk to Tom?
So we could find out if he's okay.
So
Well-
long as he contributes and is not compromised, what matters is does his mood mean?
Well, being a bartender, he'd probably have a lot more information on everything going on.
So we ask the owner, the lady, who doesn't
Possibly.
seem angry.
People tell their problems to bartenders much more often than owners of places. Or even service boys, for that matter.
What are we trying to find out from him exactly, other than what we just heard?
I'm purely here to support him emotionally, so I don't know what else you want.
Well, I don't want to heal him emotionally. I think he's area.
Remember when we were on the boat for 2 whole months?
Councillor Annie.
Yes, you mean since from yesterday?
Remember how often Britannica here complained and bitched and was in a foul mood?
Uh-huh.
Me rude.
Did it help? Did any of us try to comfort her or
I
console her? Really?
I tried to sing some songs.
More often than not, we just let her be, because the next day she would calm down and be happier
Right.
until she had to work again.
Well, we were also confined to small quarters with her as well.
I like how you're talking about me like I'm not even sitting right.
She's
I-
right here. Please respect her.
No, I apologize. I'm just trying to make the point that maybe Tom is in a bad mood today, but he won't be tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like I need something important to ask him. I can't just go over there and be like, hey, tell me about your bitten hand.
Listen,
Well, again, there's more tact to it than
Hey,
that.
Shorty, what happened to your hand, you loser?
That's why I'm asking. What do I ask him?
Let's strike up a conversation.
About what?
Let him
visible friend.
tell you what he wants to talk about.
He's not going to do that.
He might.
Anyway, I do have something I want to try before we do talk to him, because I am a bit skeptical about this invisible thing.
The invisible friend?
Right, just give me a second. And I'm going to stand up and kind of just casually walk like I know what I'm doing. Like leaning against the walls.
What is she doing?
Okay, so if you're standing there, that gives you a very clear line of sight across the bar to this corner.
Yeah.
Something strikes your eye, something you've never seen before. It is somebody that looks to be humanoid, however, has a very draconic looking head with 2 horns, and it is like golden scales. From the shape of the form, you would guess it's probably female, although it's kind of hard to tell just by looking at the head.
Yeah.
Needless to say, this individual is somewhat regal looking. By the way she is sitting to the person next to her, she's seated at least several inches above, so you would guess that she's probably pretty tall if she was to stand up.
Okay.
Has got the most piercing set of bright purple eyes that you've ever seen.
Cool.
And she is sitting there nursing what looks like a glass of red wine.
Okay. I'm going to whisper to myself, even better. And I'm going to try to
stealthily cast detect evil in the direction of this whole bar area.
Okay. So are you using just one of your paladinic
Yes.
ability to sniff out naughty?
Yes.
Okay, nope. Nothing
okay.
seems to be particularly foul or vile in the immediate vicinity of the range of your senses. You
Okay.
focus and sense the tingling in the air to see if you can kind of get that horrid feel.
Okay, cool. And I'm going, that's lovely. That's good. And I'm going to meander back. I'd like to inform you all that if he did have an invisible friend, he's not bad. And if he's over there, he's okay. And there was this very cool creature. I think some kind of a different race I haven't seen. I don't know, kind of looked like a dragon, but like human.
Wait, back up. How do you know that his friend isn't bad?
As a paladin, I'm able to detect auras of people and things, and well, I tried to see if there was anything evil in Skullduggerus over there, and everything's okay.
You guys put too much stock into that sort of thing, I think.
What do you mean?
Well, he could just... something he does to keep himself busy or not lonely, maybe? Why'd you think it had to be something paranormal, I guess? Or out of the ordinary?
Yeah.
I just like to cross out everything on my list before I decide.
Oh, all right. Again,
It's not evil, but he is.
conversation's usually the fastest way to find some information out instead of secretly casting spells around.
Well, it's better to know if someone's evil before I walk up to them.
Why?
I know how to have a conversation properly.
Well, you could probably... Sure. I don't want to tell you how to do your process.
Rather you not, I do prefer my own process. Thank you.
Of course. Then by all means.
Go counsel him up.
How about you two lovely ladies, go have a chat?
Britannica,
Yes.
I do not want to pull the same thing you did back at the other place. I did not know the things you had said to those two men.
Oh, you mean the thing that worked perfectly well? And caused no issue whatsoever?
I would rather not do that again, please.
Okay, I'll try really hard not to offer you up
Thank you.
on a platter.
Come on.
All right. You're over there.
We're gonna walk over here, both of us, and since there's like one seat there and one seat over there, we're just gonna go hoping that he scooches over.
That's
so
a
we can
huge
sit next to each other.
I'm just gonna stare at him and be like, could you please?
All right, as your massive form looms up to the bar. Okay, so you're eyeballing this dude, huh?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So yeah, at closer inspection, you can see that the dwarf has got a few tattoos. He's got a tattoo of an anchor on his bald head, what looks like some kind of sailor swallow on his huge muscular left arm. Now you're closer. What it actually says on his stump, it just clearly just says Bitten.
I like him.
I love it.
Okay, yeah, being dwarvish, he is almost as wide as he is tall. He looks like a very muscular individual for a barkeep. Probably can handle himself in a bit of a brawl because you can see he's got several old scars on his face and on his forearms.
Okay. Excuse me.
Okay, you're talking specifically to try to get his attention?
Yeah, I'm gonna try anyway.
All right.
Man. Tom?
He walks over. It's Thom.
Oh,
thumb?
With a th, like a thud. Not a
Pardon
tuh.
me. The servant boy over there just mentioned your name was Tom. Pardon my,
Aye. Everybody does call me Dom, but it's thumb. With a th.
Right.
You're probably
okay,
not
it's
gonna
down in my
remember.
memory.
So if you don't, fair enough. But at least I told you once. Now what can I get you?
fine. Perhaps just a conversation?
Does it look like I've got time for small talk? Tavern's busy tonight. I've got a whole group of people to keep full and make sure that I pour as many ales and beers and wines and spirits as I can.
Of course, I completely understand, but me and Britannica couldn't. We just heard such an amazing story, and we just wanted to know about this creature that we're
What
interested
creature?
in. Well, to be frank, Tom,
Thumb!
Thom.
we're curious about Shark.
Never fails, does it? New to the town, have never seen you before, one of the first things you want to do is come and rag old Thumb about why he's only got one hand.
Well, I don't mind.
Why don't
the
you ask
one
me the
hand.
next obvious question? Wouldn't it have made more sense to get a nice hook?
That would be devastating.
Yeah,
No,
no, you see, a hook, while it might be a good utility, is not as good for ramming teeth straight down someone's gullet. Should they ask
like
too many
that.
questions or piss you off?
Of course.
Now, I'd normally never strike a lady. But for two lasses as big as yourselves, I would make an exception.
Well, thank you for making an exception. What was that, Britannica?
It's going to be necessary. Thom, would you recommend your favorite drink to us? We would love to try what your favorite drink is.
Well, that's some imported stuff.
Yeah?
Comes across the ocean from a far off continent.
Is it Arconis?
Aye, have you been there?
Yes, we just came from
Candawin
Arconis.
rum.
We just
Good
came
stiff
straight
drink.
from Candawin.
Well, then you've probably already had my favourite drink.
Well, let me buy you a round, and we'll toast to ramming stumps down people's throats.
Oh boy.
All right.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is a fun thing to try to do. So we're going to go ahead and
Take
we
a
are
break.
going to have the first actual dice roll of the evening.
Nice roll.
This smells awfully like diplomacy to me. So let me put. Oh, I just noticed we got the damn dice pane still up. Not that we've even rolled any dice yet. But let me open that.
Jesus Christy.
Seems reasonable to me.
All right, yeah. Give me a diplomacy check if you would.
Okay.
Nice.
17. Okay. He smiles at you with a big, toothy grin and says, well, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have give you the time of day. But to be honest, with the day I've had, I could do with a couple of rounds of rum. So I'll take you up on it.
Excellent.
Woo.
He says, so what's that then? 3?
Yes.
1 for me and 1 each for thee.
Perfect.
Fine. Right, he reaches down under the bar, pulls out a large, kind of dark shaded bottle, pulls off the cork, pours 3 very large glasses of rum, slaps the cork back on, and he says, do you all have a tab going, or should I charge you for this separate?
It's on a Cyrano.
Cyrano will take care of it.
Fair enough. Put it on his tab. Well then, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Slam it down you.
That she said.
And he drinks it all down in one.
Go, 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 go.
So that's what she
Ah,
said.
delicious.
Now, don't you feel so much better?
Given a couple more of these and I might.
Well,
It's good, because the next few drinks are on Cyrano as well.
Do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, with a big grin, he quite happily pours another round. And these are basically like triples that he's pouring. So each one of these that you down is like 3 glasses of pretty potent, fortified sailor rum.
Right.
So, yep, he downs the second one. What do you two have in the way of constitution scores?
Ooh, I have a +1.
Alright, so what are you running, a 13? 12?
I got a 12.
I have a 14.
Okay. Alright. So if you've got a 12, you can go ahead. You're okay right now, Britannica. Annie, I need you to give me a fortitude save.
Okay. Good luck, everybody.
Alright.
Nice.
Oh,
Very
Fortunately,
nice. Very nice.
you had a good feed before you come over here. You've got a stomach full of delicious food. So you're wearing the storm pretty well at this point.
wonderful. Okay.
Yep, you're not too inebriated yet.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so after the second one of these rums, you notice his mood is actually starting to lighten up a little bit. He's starting to joke a little bit more with the punters, and he's been a little bit more friendly. Doesn't seem to be quite so grumpy as he was to start with.
I'm gonna lean over to Britannica. I think maybe one more we could ask him a couple questions.
It's working. Let's keep doing it.
Good plan.
All right. So a third one down the hatch.
Let's do
All right,
it.
both of you at this point will need to give me a con save. Jane, you will be at a -2.
Okay. Con save.
Do I do that in...
Temporary.
So you're going to make a
-2.
fortitude save, basically. Should have a button on your sheet.
Oh, yeah,
for
right there.
save.
You go first.
Sounds about right.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, here's the thing. You know, the third one's the charm, isn't it? Because you know you're 9 shots in basically by the time you've downed that one with the sea air and standing up and the atmosphere. It's starting to go to your head just a little bit. So you're not hammered by any means, but you are definitely to the point of, we got a little bit of word slurring going on. You're feeling pretty good, feeling happy, feeling a little bit more free and lively.
Okay, so much more loudly this time. Britannica,
I love your hair.
thank you. I think we can ask him anything we want now.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to ask?
Ask me thumb.
No, don't make it.
Sounds like thumb, but he only has one of them.
Go on. What do we want to ask him? What do we want to ask him?
Ask him about the sharks and if it's wreaking havoc on the town. And then we can ask him about religion and how his feelings towards his parents.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's start with the shark.
Okay.
Okay.
Tom, come here.
All right.
One thumb.
He comes over and you see him. He shakes the bottle because you can hear it sloshing around because there's not a whole lot of rum left in this bottle now.
Ask him.
Thomas, tell us.
Thomas.
Thomas? Love it.
We have to know. Please.
What do you have to know?
I want to know how you defeated him.
Well, truth is, miss, he wasn't defeated. He's still out there.
He is.
What happened was this. I was traveling with a few friends. We was on the early tide, going out to do some fishing. It was a fairly small fishing vessel.
How small?
Well, nothing more than about probably 20 foot long. Maybe 5 or 6 feet wide.
I only know cubits.
Well, needless to say, We was out there, we cast the nets. It was a very slow morning. You see, fish has been getting rather scarce of late. And this was many, many months ago when the fishing had first started dying down.
Okay.
But that day, suddenly, we felt a mighty tug in the nets.
Oh my god.
Well, we started to haul it in, thinking we'd got ourselves a right good catch. But in no time at all, suddenly, the net went tight, and whatever it was took off, and it started to drag the boat with it.
What?
Must have dragged us nigh on 2 leagues.
And then what did you do?
Well then, we continued to try to pull against the net, tried to wear the creature down, as we realised it was obviously not a shoal of fish, but one large fish.
A whale.
That's what we thought. And then suddenly, the net went loose, and it started to come back towards us. Well, seizing the opportunity, we quickly whipped out our daggers and cut through the meshing and cut the thing loose so that we could regain control of the vessel, you know.
Of course.
Well, then it raised from the surface this mighty great dorsal fin, and it coasted slowly past the ship. It was so tall that it was almost like a huge big sail. And in the water we saw a huge dark shape. Disappeared back under the surf so quickly.
Did it have a green eye?
Well, it had a black eye. Originally it had 2 of them.
What happened?
Well, we immediately hoisted our sail, put the oars into the water and began to row as fast as we could, you know, to get ourselves back on course and head back towards the coast. Didn't think nothing of it. But then about 5 or 10 minutes later, we looked behind and it was following us. Probably about 200 feet it was keeping between us and itself. Well, keeping one eye on the creature, we continued to make as fast as we could towards the coastline. Figured we'd get in close enough, a creature of that size wouldn't be able to swim in the shallows.
Right.
Well, I think it realised what we were doing, and suddenly it went under. And the next thing we know, we felt a mighty crash in the stern of the boat, and the entire rear end lifted up out of the water, and it come
Seesaw.
crashing back down. Well, first of all, one of my friends fell overboard. As he was clambering to pull himself up, this thing come past, and with one mighty big jump, cut him clean across from the waist.
That's horrible.
We pulled him up, but there was nothing but dangling intestines, and I had to watch the life drain from his eyes.
Did you cook it?
Cook what? My friend? Hell
The
no!
sausages.
That's what I thought you meant.
Sausages? Oh, no. Not at all. Well, that's a bit dark. Needless to say. The thing came around again for a second pass. This time, I reached down and grabbed a trident, and I readied myself for when the creature got close.
Yeah.
Well, it struck the side of the ship. I lunged forward with the trident. I stuck the trident right in its right eye, but the force knocked me into the water. As I was hanging onto the trident with my left hand and struggling with me right, somehow I grabbed hold of the mighty nose of this thing, and it opened up its mouth, and my arm went inside, and I felt what felt like a vice-like grip crunch down across my wrist. I managed to struggle myself free, but as I did so, it was not letting go. So I took its eye, but it took my right hand. Well, with
Where's
that,
its eyeball now?
Yeah, do you have it?
I'm afraid not. I did have it. I kept it in a jar. but it kind of got all gooey and mushy, and it was no longer looking much like an eyeball, more a small, sinewy mass at the bottom of a jar, and at that point, wasn't quite such a talking point.
You know, you just need some pickle juice.
Pickle juice?
That'll preserve it.
I suppose I could have pickled it. I never thought of that.
Pickled eyeball.
What's shark eyeball?
Jesus Christ.
It's delicious.
Well, I've never eaten eyeballs myself, but I'll take your word for it. It must be one of those Arconian delicacies across the sea or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
But
well,
anyway, after that, and then he nods at the blacksmith, the dragon-looking creature. He says, and I had the town blacksmith forge this for me.
you're the blacksmith.
Right.
Do a
The
turn
draconic
to the-
creature just kind of raises one of the looks over and just lifts its scaly eyebrow up, and you can just see its huge, beady, purple eye, kind of the slit in it, because it's got like lizard-type eyes. It kind of narrows and squints down towards you and looks, and then goes back to staring at its drink.
Wow.
He says, originally, didn't have this engraving. But everybody started to say, what happened to your hand? Where'd your hand go? So I just had this written on it and I just hold it up. Bitten. If they ask again, thump. You understand.
Are you gonna write thump on it as well?
It's a
That's
good
not
idea.
a bad idea.
Bitten thump.
I could have thump written on the other side, couldn't I?
Right, so you show the one
Right, I
side,
like that.
ask, you show the other side, and blammo.
I like that idea. We should have another drink to toast that idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
At which point he says, you hear that, Zakira? I've got some more work for you on the morrow. And you just kind of see the dragon-esque creatures kind of just looks up, and you see like a little whiff of smoke come out of her nostrils.
is the shark still attacking people?
Well, some people have said that they've seen it, but it hasn't attacked anybody for a long while. Personally, I think he's probably died from the wound. You know how sailors are. They've seen giant squids, they've seen all kinds of crazy things. Here lately we've heard these rumours that ships have said that they've been attacked by strange winged creatures that come rushing out of the ocean spray and attack the decks.
I nudged. We were attacked by those.
The same thing happened
See?
on our ship.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. Everybody's got the same tale. At the very least, you could start to be a little bit more original with your whoppers.
So,
I clipped them in half with this.
Oh, you cleft them in twain.
I did.
Look, my story might be a little bit far-fetched, but it's the truth.
We
now
would
listen,
tell a lie.
I don't like to tell many lies, and if there's one lie, one truth to tell you, it's that we were attacked in the same way with the winged creatures.
We were. Honest.
2 people died. I tried to save them all.
Really?
I saved 1.
So it's not just sailors. Shh. Not just a sailor's yarn, then.
Oh, what was that?
Oh, nothing. I thought I heard something.
I was your friend.
What friend?
My friend.
Don't know what.
The one, she's there right there.
Annie, Annie, no.
Oh,
It's okay, I don't mind.
Oh, Rose. Rose. This is Rose Thatcher. She's the proprietor.
Now you told us you were. We don't like lies either.
What?
Oh no.
That's her name, Rose.
Did Rose say something to you? I didn't see her mouth move.
Was that you, Rose? She kind of turns and flips her hair, and she's like, probably.
We'll just wait till the next time it happens.
With that, he kind of starts to fidget a little bit and, well, you've kept me entertained long enough. I appreciate the drinks.
Hey,
By all means, finish it off. But I've got other customers to take care of. No, I've had three's plenty.
Oh,
But
come
y'all
on.
feel free to finish off the bottle if you
Bring a
like.
little baby
For a hero, a shark hero.
to the shark killer, eyeball killer, slayer.
Eyeball killer slayer.
Pickled eyeballs.
That's a real bad horror movie.
I know, right?
Eyeball killer slayer horror.
Killer slayer eyeball. It's definitely a B movie for sure.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
a low
that's-
budget.
Ginger dead man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sci-fi movie for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so while that fiasco's going on at the bar, what has Alekma and Cyrano been up to? Anything at all, or are you just kind of stuffing your faces and...
Alekma's been eating. He's been glancing over occasionally at Britannica and Annie. And the only thing he'll ever say is, looks like it's going well. That's it. I'm just eating. I'm like, they're talking, I'm happy, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, when he says that, I'll kind of glance up and try to read the situation best I can. And the fact that they're still having a conversation, I'm like, yeah, I assume so. And just go back to eating.
I haven't seen one of them spit out any
Biggest
teeth
and
yet.
littlest people stuffing their faces.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so what are you two doing after that then? As in Britannica and Annie.
So he wasn't going to give us another
okay.
drink, huh?
Yeah.
He left the bottle there for you,
All right.
but he didn't have another one.
I say we just take this bottle back to our table, tell them the crazy stories
It's a great
that we
plan.
heard, and that we were successful.
We got all the info. We know
Everything.
everything about the shark. Success.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, so you want to stagger back over to that table?
Yes.
Now I know why I was here, and it was to hang out with you. You're so beautiful.
That's done.
So
So
beautiful.
beautiful.
No, you.
Biggest
You're
lady I've ever
beautiful.
seen.
Okay.
I've had so much practice role playing this exact.
This is a very familiar scene, isn't it?
Not me.
Nah, I've never spent a night like this.
Okay. All right, well, you guys go back to your table.
Hello, friends.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take a very short break. Okay, let's get back to it. Okay. So you... so it looks like Britannica has returned to the table. Is Annie still propping up the bar, or is she going back as well?
No, I'd probably be buddy. Going back with
Okay.
her. There you go.
So the two ladies come back, and now they seem to have a certain sway in their step. And a kind donation. Thank you. It's Chewy. Much appreciate that, my friend.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And let's have a quick look to see if a message come in. Enjoying the new campaign and the new characters. Appreciate it, dude. Much love. Thank you.
Thanks, that was because of me. Cool, thank you.
Good, I could just go home. Oh wait, I am home.
That's it. When all of us leave, from the stream, we all walk that 10 feet to our beds.
I'm not even 10 feet from
Jane
me.
just stands up and falls backwards. And so does Chrissy, and so
right
does... Looks like Snugs isn't far from it.
Right here.
He could probably make a good sideways leap.
Oh, I could just lean over and I'm on my bed.
Me and Shaggy are the only ones that actually have to get up and walk, I think. So
Aren't you
my
guys
bed's
lucky?
40 feet away, actually.
yeah, mine's about the
Whoa.
same.
Want your
Did you
privilege.
measure it?
Yeah, I measure. I walk with my
You're like-
Don't ever
bed
say
as
when
I
you
was.
measure it to Shaggy. That's all I'm
He's
gonna
got a
say.
laser. You know, he's like, ooh, okay. From here to
Just
there.
take my chair and roll to my
It's
bed.
like to
You know?
know how far things are from him at certain points. Like, 60 feet, okay, cool.
It's his natural talent.
Yeah, he just
No.
wants to make sure he's within his movement.
That seems
point.
like a weird Tolgar thing.
Right.
How far is that pigeon away? Oh, 85 feet.
Yeah, it's like in early editions of D&D, dwarves used to always know how deep they were underground. Like, the most useful skill you could ever have as a special racial trait. I feel like we're exactly 47 and a half feet beneath the topsoil here.
It's funny because in Beneath the Veil, we needed that information. We were with the Shambling Mounds. How did
That's
we?
horrible.
Don't remind me of that.
If we had a dwarf, we would have been good. But no, they had to play a gnome. Assholes.
I'm okay because I was absent for that episode.
Oh, you love
Son of a man.
It was designed to be
painful.
torturous, and it really was. It was fun. All right, so they've come back with a bit of a swagger in their steps and a little bit more of a grin and a glazed eye look. A little
Guess
rosy
what
cheeks.
we found out?
All the
What?
info.
So much information.
Oh,
You're going to pee your panties.
It was a good
Okay.
There were so many details.
okay.
Let us recite them.
So,
2 words for you.
Small
Shock.
boat.
Oh, small. That's even better than what I was going to say.
What were you gonna say?
Let's see. Dark eyeball.
That's a good one too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh,
And
Yep.
So he got attacked by a giant shark.
we knew that.
And he got the eyeball.
Yes, we knew that part as well.
And it got all mushy, so he threw it out.
As body parts tend to do over time.
I told him he should pickle it.
Should have.
No, hindsight is 20/20, as they say.
What else, Britannica?
so
Um,
you were there for 30 minutes? And that's it? That's what you learned?
he told
That's
us the
it.
whole story. There were a lot of details.
The story we already knew.
just in more detail.
But more
But it's
detail.
more detail.
And guess what?
Huh.
Shark's still out there.
Yeah, I figured.
Or maybe dead. He also said it might have died from the
Yes, it could be alive or dead.
Wow.
Could be alive or dead, which is very specific information.
You two are just 2 regular super sleuths, aren't you?
I'll tell you something else.
Please do.
He definitely has an invisible friend.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you learn about that then?
That he doesn't want to talk about it.
And he shushed him.
Did you try any of my tips and tricks?
We drank a lot,
That was a program.
but he wasn't mad, so that was a success.
They spent so much time making sure that he wasn't angry. They didn't really care about what information they gleaned. It was just like,
I didn't know what to ask him. What are we supposed to ask him?
Why did you...
We got the story confirmed, so there's that.
Well, thank goodness.
Straight from the dwarf's mouth. And now, his friend over there is a blacksmith. We know that. That's new information, huh, Danny?
Sure is.
And maybe no green eyeball, but some purple ones.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
And,
Huh?
What else did we
he's
learn?
gonna. Oh, his name is
Thumb.
Thumb, not Tom. Thumb,
Okay.
like thump.
So
we know that much. So he's probably just mad because people.
So
call him
bing
the
bang
Rock.
boom.
Wow, well you two did it. Good job, team.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me know if you need anything else, and I just eat more chicken.
okay. Well, it's about now that you hear a loud eruption of noise come from this main table over here.
Ooh.
So all of a sudden you hear like a kind of an old, somewhat cackled voice goes, I win again! And you hear this, I don't know why I waste my time playing with you. Oh, come now, come now. It's not my fault that I happen to be particularly gifted with the cards, is it? Let's see, that's quite a haul tonight. Thank you, boys, thank you very much. And you see this fairly old man in kind of like a black tunic and black baggy pants. raking in piles and piles of silver and copper and some gold into a large kind of metal pot. And with that, several upset and frustrated people kind of get up and move their way towards the bar, grumbling profusely at how this guy always seems to have the best hand, no matter what.
No.
You should play Olekma.
Say.
Well, Alekma, yeah. See, he might be another local hustler. Just letting you know.
Right, he kind of gets up and he comes walking by the table. So I can give you a bit more of a description of this individual. There he is for a chat. As I said, he's got kind of like a dark grey kind of tunic, a little grey skull cap, and baggy kind of black loose-fitting pants. Looks like the sort of thing that MC Hammer would have worn at one point. Beyond that, he's got a walking cane that's kind of like got a fairly ornate carved knob on the top of it, and he's just plodding across the wood, boom, 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 across the wooden floor, smiling at everybody as he makes his way to the bar.
So when he gets about here,
Okay.
I'm actually going to speak up,
Alright.
and I'm going to say, "What's the scuttlebutt, hustler?"
Okay, he turns and looks at you and he says, "What's the scuttlebutt?"
Yes.
About what? What are you referring to?
Well, I called you a hustler, so what is the deal with that?
You called? Oh. Were you accusing me of something? What do you mean, hustler?
I'm going to look back at Cyrano.
What are you looking at me for? I'm just eating my dinner.
Well, you said he was a hustler.
No, I'm not a
Like the
hustler.
other one.
I happen to be a very gifted mathematician.
Yes, I said he was a bustler. See how he's bustling around everywhere? I said he's a bustler. I like the way you move in that robe, my friend.
Oh.
Well, I'm about to buy a round for the house if you're interested. What would you like?
Oh, I'll take another glass of this fine white wine.
Excellent,
No.
yes.
Yes, meet here, bustler.
Fine.
More rum.
Oh boy. Maybe not anymore for the ladies?
Shut up.
Well, excellent.
I brought the rest of the wine over in the bottle.
But I want whatever he's gonna get.
Alright, well, he goes up. And you kind of hear him lean across the table and yell down the table to a couple of the people that he just fleeced for money. He goes, no hard feelings, eh? Right, well, my dear, Rose, if you wouldn't mind, a round for everybody, whatever they want, on me. And then you see him hold up his little metal pot and he goes, ching, 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 as you can hear all the coinage shaking. With that, at least everybody seems to shrug their shoulders and, I'll have a wine, I'll have an ale, and everyone starts to bark their orders.
So so I'm gonna kneel back to the table and look at everybody and be like, "What? Was that
and
not
then
right?"
You hear him say, which kind of like pricks your attention up. You can't help but catch this. Oh, and make sure to include the 4 Arconians, would you? Get them what they want. 2 of them said that they were drinking rum. 1 said mead, and the other said he wanted another glass of that fine white wine.
Where is he going after he orders? Is he standing up there?
Oh, he's at this moment he's standing up at the bar, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
But he has turned around, he's leaning against the bar, and he's looking directly at your table with a big grin on his face. Like,
I'm gonna walk up to him.
okay.
You're not gonna answer me?
I'll get back to you in a moment. Hello, well met, my friend. Seems you are on quite a lucky streak back there.
Oh, it's not luck. As I said, I'm a very gifted mathematician. I
So
can study
probability
the
and
cards
odds.
and I remember things. Very well. Gives me, it's not cheating. Just gives me a healthy advantage against the more common, less educated players.
Absolutely. However you can game the system to best make it fit your own needs, I am all for. Cyrano de Yam at your service, by the way, and who am I speaking to?
Oh, oh, that's right. You don't know me, do you?
We do not, and I think you know that.
Do any of your party remember me? At all? Ever?
I don't believe so. Actually,
Ladies, the tall, bald-headed, rock-looking fellow, you don't recall me? No? Never seen me before?
Were you on our ship?
When are you referring to?
Yesterday.
Oh, no, definitely not. I've been here the entire time. But then I always have, you see? I've always been here.
What's
What?
This is a riddle.
What?
Riddles? Oh, good gracious me, no.
How old are you?
Well, age is a very relative thing, isn't it?
Are you immortal?
Immortal? I know I look old, my dear, but I'm certainly not that old.
That's how you win the games, isn't it? You're
think-
so old that you just know how to play it so well.
I believe
You
last
trick
count,
people.
I saw my 87th summer.
Oh, that's not that old.
Might be 86.
Are you human?
85. Let's say 84, because it sounds much better.
Sure. Okay. Are you human?
Well, that's rather rude.
Is it?
Shouting this across the bar at him.
Are you human?
I mean, I know I look a little bit gnarly, but, yes, last time I checked.
Have we met before?
No, but I couldn't help overhear that, when they were up there talking at the bar, the two ladies, rather loudly, as they were getting somewhat inebriated, mentioned you were from Arconus, and I've been there. I've travelled there several times. That's why I wondered if we'd bumped into each other.
Oh.
And your name is?
Oh, dear me, I was going to tell you, and then, well, I'll tell you what, rather than just stand here and holler back and forth, let me get a drink and I'll come and join
your
you.
Name? Oh.
sure, absolutely. We're right back here.
Okay.
As you know already. They're yelling at us. All right, here I go. Back to the table.
Okay, yeah, so he eventually goes and comes back with a glass of white wine himself,
Oh, good taste.
pulls up the stool from the table next and sits down. He says, right then. Yes, so, names. I'm the local, so, you know, it is customary that I would provide you my name first. So,
Why is this a discussion?
well,
What's your name?
there's decorum to be adhered to. Can't be rude. And you're not from around here, as I pointed out. You're from Arcanus.
I tried to tell them all of these things. Thank you.
Yes, well, perhaps you should listen to your friend somewhat.
I was when I asked you what I asked you.
I'm just eating chicken.
Chicken's very good, isn't it? You should try the sausages and the steaks. Anyway, my name is Templin. You sure you've not heard of that name before? Templin?
No. Can we do
Templin
a
Richard?
check?
No?
Knowledge check or something?
Sure, give me a roll.
Let's see. What do I got? Knowledge. I'll do knowledge nobility. Is he nobility in the Arcanus?
So a 17. You kind of scan back and think. You don't recall anybody or any great noble houses by the name Richard.
Okay. You're not. So you're not noble.
Not noble.
Are you big in the religious sector?
No, not really.
So you wouldn't know what a green and red eye would signify.
Oh, well. I wouldn't. But There are people here in town that perhaps might.
Who?
Tell me more specifics about this green and red eye thing that you're talking about. You seem to ask a lot of questions about religion, so is this something of religious nature, you believe? Is it?
I don't know, maybe.
When we...
Yeah.
Go ahead. No.
No, I'm done.
I think a couple more of those rums and you will be.
It has been prophesied to us, and we saw such a thing sailing from Candowin.
Yes. Prophesized, you say? Excellent. Is there a reason why you... Never mind. So... There was a prophecy that you overheard in Candowin about eyeballs.
On the way from Candowin,
Okay.
we heard it from a... Well, I didn't hear it, but my friends heard it from a sleeping priestess.
Ah, so it was a priestess that said this prophecy. A priestess of
Yeah.
what, pray tell?
I'm gonna look to those who actually heard the prophecy.
She's a priestess of dolphins.
Priestess of dolphins. Really?
Yeah.
She's a priestess of offspring, everyone.
Yeah,
Why do I know that?
that one.
Yes, well, gifted as you are with the foresight to pay attention to things, I'm sure that's why you probably remember.
I remember things too, my old friend.
That's what I was referring to.
Anyways, I'll continue. Excuse me. I'll go back to my food.
No, I was just curious. So what exactly was this prophecy? How did it have this, what did you say, a red and a green eye or something?
And there was a swamp guy.
Red and green eyes and swamp
that-
eyes.
Wait, no, that's two separate things, I thought.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
It was apparently the prophecy was a warning of some kind, and then later on we encountered a strange storm on the seas where such a thing showed up, and my friends and I and the crew of the ship we were on were attacked by creatures of the sea that I've never seen before.
What do these creatures look like?
Wings,
Oh, really?
women,
Ugly.
Wings, women.
Yes.
winged women.
As I suspected. They've been seen a lot lately. Attacking various ships, not letting them get to shore.
It's very
Some people seem to
rude
think
of
that that's
them.
somehow directly associated with the other problem that we've got going on here in town, but it's not related whatsoever.
What problem?
Oh, well, there seems to be a bit of a problem on the northern road. You see, it seems that most of the incoming and outgoing trade caravans are being attacked and ambushed.
By a shark?
No, not a land shark, no belays here.
Sorry, I'm a bit tipsy.
No, I can understand. But no, there's a bit of a problem. See, you haven't got the tab yet, have you? You haven't been charged. You're going to find it's rather expensive here. Far more than it should be.
Well,
Unfortunately,
that's not a problem.
That's fine with me.
Until here, from what I understand earlier today, the first trade vessel actually managed to moor up and make it here that has done so in almost 4 months.
Thanks to us. I think.
How expensive are we talking?
Well, don't really know. Depends what you had, but typically things are about 3 times the cost of what they normally are. We just, things have gotten a little scarce. You might not see it because of the fragrant disregard for rationing that's going on here, but people are going through the rations and the supplies as fast as, well, way faster than they should be, and they don't have much to replace them with.
And they didn't think to tell us this before we...
I'm sure if you'd have asked the prices, they would have told you. They're pretty transparent. But many travellers don't seem to care about prices. They just come in and throw their coins around as if they're made of money.
Coins are made of money.
I mean, as if the travellers are made of money. As if they're like shedding tears of coins just all over the
Oh,
table.
I understand.
Which is very beneficial to me, of course, because I'm quite capable of winning a lot of it from them from their card games.
And and these people that you know who would know of the eye thing that we speak, who are they? Where can we find them?
If it is anything of a religious nature, then of course you're going to want to go to the temple, aren't you? The church.
Yeah. Temple of Cord.
Yes. When you get there,
Yes.
you want to talk to the High Priest, Leonard Evra. High Priest Leonard.
That's a weird name.
Well, you know, he used to be a sailor. And then something happened and he was become a man of faith.
Get his hand bitten off by a shark?
No. But, he does look rather... Let's just say that he is a good number of years younger than I, but he looks a good deal older. He doesn't have my youthful looks.
Speaking of literally anything, our friend Thom at the bar there.
Oh, yes. What about him?
We see him speaking, it seems, to someone who isn't there. I was curious if you had any insight on that.
Oh, yes, that's Thom's imaginary friend.
And that's just imaginary? Friend doesn't...
Well, I've never seen him.
Well, just figured I'd ask since had you here at the table.
I mean, don't you ever hear voices?
Nope.
Yes, it called me here.
You heard a voice that did that?
Voices in your head? Tell you to do things, do they?
No, not like that, but a metaphorical
What's that?
voice.
I should murder everybody in the tavern?
Wait a second. That's not right.
He's kidding.
Of course I'm kidding. You didn't literally think I was going to try to murder everybody in the tavern, did you? Come
I'm
now,
not
girl.
sure. You are wearing a dark outfit.
Profile
I
people.
see. And the fact that black makes me look younger. My rather fat tummy seems to look a little bit more slender in darker colours. That's not anything to do with why you think I would wear black. I'm just purely going to be isolated and pointed a finger at and said, oh, he must be an unsavoury sort because he's wearing black clothes. Well, you're
didn't
wearing
say
an awful
that.
lot of sunburnt orange, so you must
Thank you.
like the sun or something.
I do like the sun.
Oh. Well, I suppose in this particular instance, the stereotype fits, but in my case, it doesn't.
I'm sorry for judging. I get a little bit opposite of me, I guess, sometimes when I have this much to drink.
You drink a
I
lot, do
would
you?
never, but I'm doing it now. What?
So do you drink a lot, do you?
No, I
Oh,
don't.
yes. You probably shouldn't, then. I'd lay back off the, especially the spirits.
I have high spirits.
Well, I think you are high on spirits, one or the other.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Oh, we're losing her.
is there anything else that, I bought you all a drink? Is there anything else? You sure? None of you recall me, huh? Don't remember me at all. Never mind.
What is it? You clearly met us.
No, I've never met you.
But you know us somehow.
Sorry?
You keep mentioning, yes, as the drunk lady said. You keep mentioning about
I?
our memories. What does that mean? Why?
Well, no, just... As I said, I've spent a good bit of time in Arconis in the past and just wondered if we'd bumped into each other. You seem vaguely familiar, that's all, but I can't place any of you.
Well, no. Can't think of why. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your food and your drinks. And I hope you can afford to pay the tab when it comes. You're quite wealthy, are you?
Cyrano is.
Well,
Is
we just
he?
got
paid, I guess.
Oh, good. Would you like to play cards, young man?
No, I would not. Well, what kind of cards? What kind?
I really don't. It doesn't matter to me. Any game that you can think of, we'll play it.
No, I don't think so. Thank you for the offer, though.
Oh, not at all. Well, if you're curious about your strange, whatever it was, this eyeball thing that you're talking about, yes, I would go and talk to, the High Priest. Temple of
Hey.
Cord.
Thank you for the free drink.
Yes, not a problem. Hope you enjoy your evening.
You too.
But stay out of trouble.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Klein kind of gets up with a grunt and moves his way back over to the bar.
He's clearly seen us before.
I don't know.
Maybe he's just full of himself.
Could be.
He could just be old and senile.
Perhaps we should get this tab sorted.
Oh, Cyrano's got it.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's all in you, right?
Well, I never said that.
But you put your name on it.
Someone had to.
So I'm gonna wait for the waiter boy to come around again. Whatever, I forgot his name already. And just like flag him down.
Danny Fluffers. Okay.
Danny Fluffers, yes.
All right. So yeah, Danny comes back over to the table.
We're here to pay our tab, I guess.
All right. Well, I'll go and fetch it for you then. Won't be long.
I'm
About
gonna
5 minutes
kinda
later, he
start
comes
feeling
back.
anxious.
And he says, right, let's see. We had a whole chicken. We got some of the fish. We've got some sausage. And, see, whole bottle of Candawin rum. 2 glasses of white.
Excuse me, what was that last one?
The
So
bottle of
anyway,
Candawin
just
rum.
let him tally it up while we discuss.
What? We don't have a. I'm sorry, we don't have a bottle of rum here, boy.
No,
Yeah.
you do. It's right there.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, keep going, keep going.
The ladies do have a almost empty bottle of rum at the
Yeah, not at our. It wasn't from our table, though. Is what I'm saying.
No, they brought it to your table.
Yes. I know that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's in a job expense.
Right, so,
Tax rate.
You can't write that off.
I don't think you know how tax write-offs work.
we got drunk. It was necessary for the job. We're expensing it. He says, right, so that'll be 5 gold and 4 silver pieces, please.
All right, everyone, tally up. 1 for each.
Put in 1 gold.
I put in 1 gold.
I put on 1.5 gold.
All right.
Okay,
I'll put in the other 1.5. I think that
Great.
squares us up.
that makes 5, which is good because, you know, that only leaves you a little bit short.
What was it? 3 silver?
4 silver.
4 silver.
I'll just pay 4 silver.
Oh, and the tip. I pay another 4 silver too.
Yeah, okay, there we go. We squared it up.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very much appreciated. And he puts his four silver in his apron pocket and goes back up to the bar. Drops off his tab and squares things up.
Very generous tip there, Olekma.
Oh. Just did basic tip math.
Tip math. He's a bad tipper though, because that's like
Can you tell
less
me
than
how
10%.
you calculate the tip?
He give a shitty ass tip. Any server would be absolutely. Wait a minute. That's like the equivalent of $54, and you gave me a $4 tip.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not even 5%. Cheapskate.
Alekma doesn't do tip math very well. He's not civilized. I think you two need to get some sleep.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we go to the church.
The temple, we go see High Priest Leonard.
The church.
Cord.
Cord.
Are you just gonna
Cord.
keep cord?
That one, yes.
I was helping.
Thank you.
Oh, good job.
All right. What do you want to do regarding where you want to sleep? Now, the ship is still here, so technically you could still sleep on the ship.
No
this
way.
is a tavern and a gambling house. It is not an inn, so it does not have a second story, and there are no rooms.
I'm going to find a really nice tree outside and just sleep under it.
Okay.
Ow.
I'm going to find the opposite of that.
A nasty rundown tree.
So a bush.
No, a beautiful thing.
Okay.
My tree's it's gonna be a beautiful tree.
I'm just gonna go back to the ship then, and we're not very far from it, and if it's a free place to stay, doesn't matter to me. It's just a bed.
Okay.
So before we all go, meet the first light tomorrow at the temple. If we're not all going to the same place, I imagine.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the
Oh.
temple again? Oh yeah, look up.
I'm sure if you ask someone on the street, they can probably point you in the correct direction.
We'll find it.
Okay, bye.
Where are we?
Drunk is.
Are you
Okay.
sure you two ladies don't want to come back to the ship?
We're fine. We
Not
don't
with
need
you.
your help.
Oh, Jesus. That just made me so sincerely angry.
Some Cyrano angry.
Okay, ladies, I bid you a good evening. Agma, same to you. And I'm gonna go back to the ship,
Okay.
right down the dock.
All right. So everyone's pretty much doing what they can to sleep off any hangovers that they might have or get a rest up. Okay. So you gather up in the following morning. Do you guys want to head straight to the temple or the church?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you
we're gonna
know
meet
approximately
outside.
where you're going. You can ask any person on the street and get directions to the Temple of Cord, which is going to lead you right here.
Annie has on the equivalent of like medieval sunglasses.
Dealing with the bright
Lips
lights.
are all dried.
Okay, so the first thing you notice when you get to the Temple of Cord, unlike, I'm assuming you probably are not awake at the crack of dawn, basically. You're probably getting up and,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
When the hustle and bustle starts.
Yeah, so the first thing you notice is the church itself is not, in fact, open. The doors are still closed and locked, which is a little bit weird considering the late morning. Most temples are open pretty much for their congregation throughout the whole day, but this place is still locked up solid like Fort Knox.
Okay. Is there a sign that says when they open?
No,
Okay.
there is not.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is there a window?
Not so loud.
There are, but they're kind of higher up off the ground, and they're kind of like stained glass, so it's not easy to see through.
Oh, okay.
I would say that probably either Britannica or Alekma can probably peer in through the bottom of the window.
Just two heads pop up.
I do this to see if there's any movement or light that would, be obvious.
Can we look
despite
in
there
the-
being stained glass? Yeah.
See if we can see in through it at all.
Okay. Well, what I can tell you is the sign has what appears to be a huge, like what you would assume to be like marking the temple for what it is. It's like a huge gauntleted fist clutching a bolt of lightning.
Ooh.
But it also has like a sword coming up out of the top of it.
Nice.
Which is the holy symbol for Cord.
Okay, so
yeah, looking through, you can see several priests in there wandering around and, you know, just kind of polishing benches and doing
Priest
stuff
things.
like that. But the doors are still locked, and there doesn't seem to be anybody in there except the clergy themselves.
okay, so I'm just gonna go to the door and bang loudly on it.
Okay. You get that big, solid, oaky thumping sound coming from it. Doesn't take long before the door is opened. And a middle-aged man stands there with his hands piously grasped. And he goes, "Yes?"
My friends and I need to see the high priest.
Oh, do you? And what's that about?
Leonard.
Yes, his name is Leonard, and it has to do with prophecies and omens.
Okay. Are you here for blessings? Because we're not doing blessings. We're done with that.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Resounding no from my left. Will I say why?
Yeah, he just looks at us, what do you mean, why? Because we're not doing that.
Okay, I don't care about your blessings. We need answers.
Well, don't we all need answers? Everybody needs answers. Why are all the trade vessels getting stopped and destroyed by strange winged creatures? Why has the northern road been stopped and nobody seems to be able to get anything in or out? Everybody keeps coming here expecting us to have all the answers, but...
Sir, please calm down.
Bum out for like a church guy. It's supposed to be, you know, uplifting and positive.
Don't you help
Look.
people?
You understand what this temple is, right? Who we represent. What we do here.
No. Honestly, I
We
don't.
are worshippers of Cord. Mm-hmm. In theory, if you want to have calm seas, this is what we'd be involved in. Things of a nautical nature, things weather-related. But do we have all the answers as to why the northern roads are being attacked? No. Do we know why there's this pestilence going around and everybody that comes here catches this weird disease? No. Do we have any understanding? Sorry?
I didn't know any of this till you just said it.
And I just breathed some of your air. Does that mean I'm in trouble?
No, if you've only been here a few hours, you're probably fine, as long as you haven't been in any close proximity with anybody.
Oh boy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What?
Theoretically, let's say we possibly were. What sicknesses do you speak of?
Well, how are you feeling?
Fine.
They're hungover.
Bad one.
Yeah, don't mind them. They're just
Dry
hungry.
lips.
I'm
Dry
alright.
lips? Kind of dehydrated?
Yeah, yes.
Sounds like you have it to me.
Oh,
It's the
no.
early onsets.
You think so?
I think so.
What do I do?
Well, I mean, there is things that we of a priestly nature can do. There are some prayers that we can utter to cure you of this malady and this disease.
Okay, hold on. Wait. What is it first?
Well, we don't really have a name for it. It's not like a known malady. It's
What's
more...
going to happen to me?
What's the end game? What's the full cycle of this disease?
Oh, well... It tends to have a very final and terminal effect.
Might I come in for a blessing?
I already told you, we're not doing blessings. We're done with that.
Might I come in to say my final goodbyes?
To who? Do you know anybody here at the church?
Your god, Cord.
No, just
Yes.
yell up at the ceiling. He'll hear you. He's omnipotent.
Why-
He's everywhere. You don't need to come inside.
But not here.
We
You don't
came
think?
here all the way from Candlewind, and
Yes,
the
but
same
see,
thing is happening at the church
None of
there.
us have this disease here inside. We've taken great precautions not to get diseased. This is one of the reasons why we're keeping the doors closed and we're only interacting with people outside in the fresh air. If we let you in, you're going to infiltrate this place with pestilence, and if we all get sick, there'll be no means to cure anybody else, will there? So that's not a very smart thing to do.
It sounds like you're not healing anybody anyway.
Absolutely. Anybody that comes here and makes a large enough donation will get healed.
Oh,
Money?
Well, of course.
It's a
Prayers aren't
church.
free.
Steven has money.
It's a church.
Remember what I was saying about the look in the eyes? The shine is gone, godless.
Huh?
I don't think these people are godless.
You don't think so?
Well, they said they could cure your malady. The people of Ostrom.
It could
Would
be
not.
a potion.
Well,
Alchemy.
the people of Osbrim aren't going to be able to do anything at all, from what
Yes.
we've
You know
understood.
about that too.
Why?
There was a priestess that came here yesterday. She came here and talked to us and said that all of a sudden that they felt like they had been excommunicated. Like Osbrim no longer answered their prayers. Well, this seems to become a all too common occurrence here recently.
So you feel similarly.
No, we don't. But of course, being that Cord is still answering our prayers, and seeing as
Wow.
we are able to take care of certain things still, we find ourselves in a position of benevolence and yet opportunity.
Okay. Why don't you go to your high priest, Leonard, and mention that there are people here who have seen a green eye with a red center, red diamond, red gem,
Like a diamond. Yeah.
and it has a bad...
Wait, what?
That we need answers.
A green eye with a red diamond. Where did you see this?
In the ocean.
When did you see this?
Like a
more
month
importantly-
ago.
In the ocean, like floating.
It came with a storm, and we and our crew were attacked by those winged
Hold on a
creatures.
second. Stay right there. Don't come in. Stay right here. And he kind of goes back through the door and closes it behind him, and you hear like a loud bolt
man.
get closed. About 10 minutes later, the door opens again, and he is standing with what can only be described as a very, very wrinkly man. He has got like folds of skin
pug.
that kind of hang down. You can barely see his eyes because his forehead is hanging right down. His cheeks are hanging down here.
Droopy dog.
Yeah, absolutely. He looks... You can kind of... Looking at his hands and his neck, there's not much wrinkles there at all. It's just all in his face. Like, something is not quite right with this individual.
Oh,
Ew.
that's so weird.
Right, he smiles at you and says, I'm High Priest Leonard Evra. How can I help you? They said something about you'd seen an omen. Something about a green eye in a red diamond.
Yes, we want to know what that symbol symbolizes.
Well, it's pretty plain to anybody of a religious nature. Anybody learned and scholared. This is the sign for Incabulus. This is the sign of the god of plague and sickness and disease.
Great. That's horrid.
So, this appeared to you, did it? On the ocean, from what I understand from my young initiate here.
Yes. It seemed to follow us.
Really?
Which now I think about it, an omen of plague and death following us.
Well, and approximately how long ago was this?
1 month.
You sure it wasn't further? Wasn't longer?
Well, It happened about halfway into our journey, so...
And in what direction was this sign of incabulous traveling?
With the ship we were on.
And
To here. It followed us as...
it followed you as in you got here first? Or did it perhaps beat you here?
No, it
The
vanished
sickness
after...
and malady has only affected us these last 2 weeks.
Sounds like it beat us here.
But you're the first that has claimed to have seen such an omen.
I guess no one cares as much as we do about it, but we definitely
You
saw it.
travelled on the same ship as the young priestess of Osprey, didn't you?
Did she not mention the
Oh,
green
she did
eye?
indeed.
Oh,
She mentioned it to us yesterday on the morn. She came here seeking enlightenment. She was the one that told us that Osprey is no longer answering prayers. She mentioned this strange malady, but she did not indicate that it was traveling on the ocean and that it had followed your vessel specifically. She said to me that she had a vision.
well, she had the vision and then we saw it for real.
I see. Well, then we seem to be a little wiser as to why this town has been struck by this strange malady.
This is the
None the
second
wiser in
thing...
how to get rid of it.
Okay, this is the second thing that has not been mentioned. We entered that shark bait tavern, and everyone seemed healthy and fine, and no one mentioned a plague. You would think that that would be not the case.
Well, you see, not everybody here in town is fully aware of the problem. We are. But, only because we tend to deal with it when it gets to its latter stages.
Why aren't you warning people?
What good would it do to fearmonger them? They would be banging the doors down of the church, screaming to be healed and rescued. Screaming to be cured of this malady. Only myself have the ability to do it, and I can cure only but 2 per day. Those that come to us in their worst conditions, we address those first, of course. And anybody wishing to make a sizable donation to Cord, perhaps we are willing to assist them ahead of time.
And, are you sick?
No. We have taken care of ourselves, of course. Would do no good for us to all get sick and die of this infection. It seems to be a sickness of the blood. The onset time seems to be random, but for the most part, everybody seems to be fine, and then suddenly, they get incredibly ill very, very quickly. And within a matter of a day or so, they get very weak. Their eyesight begins to go. They begin to get atrophy in their limbs and lose their strength. And then shortly afterwards, they slip into a deep sleep and never wake.
I think I need to sit down. Suddenly my limbs feel a little weak.
How many in this town have died to this pestilence?
Well, there have been several that have died here in these last couple of weeks.
The day it's supposed... Did anything happen 2 weeks ago when it supposedly came that was strange? Like the weather?
There was a violent and aggressive storm.
Perfect.
Did it touch down anywhere in particular? I mean, I know it was all over,
A
but
strange wind blew right across the town itself.
And which way did the storm go?
It came in from the south and rushed across the village and continued to the north.
And how long have your caravans to the North Road been in trouble and been attacked?
At least 3 weeks before the malady.
Do you think there's any connection between the two?
No, I don't think so. From survivors, it seems that there are some strange, large humanoids, furry creatures. Somebody says that their leader rides a great horse. But the caravans have been recently attacked. You might have noticed a lack of town guards. And that's because most of them went north to try to deal with the problem. Most of them were killed.
And what is closest north of here? Town, village, city?
Well, if you travel the northern road, a good 3 days, either by wagon or with a good brisk walk, there is but a small village north of here, called Ashenford.
Ashenford.
Yes, the road north is no longer safe. They don't tend to attack individuals, only wagons and coaches and caravans.
Perhaps we'll go check it out.
Well, do you want to be cured before you do so?
No, I think I'll be fine. I think it's just... We'll see.
Well, if you do decide to have your maladies rectified, for a mere 100 gold crowns donation apiece, we can take care of it for you.
I think not. Thank
of course,
you
if
for
without
offering.
that, at best, I would say you have 14 days before you're struck down.
Great, okay. 14
And bear in mind,
days
of course,
on
that
my
it
death.
does strike very quickly, and if you're away from the town more than a few hours, you'll probably become too weak to get back.
Thank you.
Oh, not at all. We'd love to help. Absolutely, would love to cure you.
Sure.
I bet you would.
Thanks for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, well, I would say may Cord bless you, but we're not doing blessings anymore, so you go about your own business.
Right, let's, Goddess Myris bless
incidentally,
you then.
If you are curious of going north and finding some trouble,
We are.
you might possibly go and see Julius Stredge. He's our mayor. He might be willing to employ you to take care of this problem for us.
Oh, great.
Where will we find him?
Julius Trench.
Strange.
Strench.
Yes, Julius Stredge.
Got it.
And where might he be?
Well, if you follow the
His
road
house.
round the corner to your left,
Mhm.
take it all the way as far as the next corner, you'll see a rather grand house with a walled courtyard and a big gate. Right past the cattle and the sheep. That will be Julius's abode. Oh, also, if you're looking for a place to stay, right before you get there on the left, you're going to see the Honest Walnut. That's the only inn that we have here in town.
Perfect.
One.
Blame chat.
Did they come up with that?
So,
Chat come up with everything in this damn town.
So, ever since we started talking to him, I've been observing his face, his facial deformities or whatever,
Okay.
to try to determine what could possibly be wrong with him, especially since I said, did you use it on yourself? Like, have you been sick?
Right.
So can I do a heal check to see if I can
Sure, I'll give you a heal check to see if you can figure out if there's anything that you recognize that's wrong with him.
No.
Old man.
Old man.
No, it's literally, so the easiest way to describe it is it's like he's got excess rolls of skin all over his face in like weird layers. Like where someone might have puffy eyes, he's got bags that actually hang down. His eyebrows are really kind of exaggerated and droopy and are like hanging down over here. His cheeks are, instead of just kind of like having a slight indentation, there's actually like two hanging jowls, almost like a freaking
Yeah,
dog.
see, that's not, and then he's not anywhere else on his body, and he's supposedly younger than the old man we talked to.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's definitely a very strange look. It's like not anything that you've really seen before, for sure.
I mean, it doesn't seem natural, honestly. I mean, that's why I was asking about the nature check. I mean, the heal check.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you rack your brains and think back to all the maladies that you worked on back in the tribe and stuff, and you never ever come across anybody that had this problem.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna thank you. We will be on our way. We will do just that.
Yes. Well, if you find anything else out about this strange malady, or any other weird premonitions of green eyes and red diamonds, you should let me know.
All right, so I'm gonna wave like I'm leaving. Yeah, he's been coughing too.
Yeah, something's wrong.
So I'm gonna say, come on, guys, let's do just that.
Okay, as we walk away, I'm gonna be like, maybe they're just all sick in there.
Oh no, Jane's got it too.
She's got it. She's got the plague.
So I'm gonna wait for the door to be closed behind us before I speak.
Okay.
Like, I don't want him looking at us, basically.
Sure, yeah. Wait for them to go back in and bolt the door.
I'm just gonna turn to him and be like, he could be an imposter.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking, actually.
Really?
crazy.
He didn't seem very religious.
Well, they just want money.
Well,
Right?
I mean, he's been coughing, and yeah, it looks like he does. At the very least, we should see if anyone else remembers when his appearance might have changed in the recent past.
Sure.
Because if he didn't always look like that, then he might have been replaced when the wind and the storm and the incubulus came.
We should have done that thing where you checked if he was evil or not.
I know, but I could try again a different day. Wait, no, it is a new day. Damn it.
Gosh dang it.
It's a new day.
All right.
All I know is this town has a weird habits of not telling the people things that they might want to know.
Very strange.
No one in that inn or tavern alluded to, or as far as I know, about the sickness. I mean,
Right.
Or
Templin mentioned something.
Or the shortage and ships not being able to get through and roads closed. Nobody said anything about that. Seems weird.
Well,
And
let's go check it out for ourselves. Talk to Julius. Is that his name? Yeah. Maya
Yes.
Julius
Stretch.
Stredge.
Stredge. Oh. I spelled it wrong. Okay.
I can't
Yeah, I
even
think-
remember who it was in chat that came up with that name, but somebody did.
Yeah, we're gonna go see the mayor, I guess, right, guys? Seems-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, following the road per their instructions, eventually towards the edge of town, the other end of town, you'll see the house that they're talking about. So basically, the house is nestled in amongst farmland. There's what looks like a very small herd of cows, a small herd of sheep, a couple of large grain bins, some open fields that seem to not really have much going on about them at this point. And then a fine-looking house that is different architecture than most of the other buildings. And it does indeed have like a stone-walled courtyard in front of it. Through the gates, you can see a water fountain in the center. There's a couple of side buildings. One looks like it might be some kind of stable or barn. The other looks like it might be a smaller dwelling. And then there's a large 2-story building with a double doors. Clearly, whoever lives here is wealthy, or at the very least owns a wealthy home.
Awesome.
And that is where we will stop it this evening, because that's about perfect. All right, so we will leave you outside the doors of the home to Julius Stredge, town mayor.
Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. When I'm not playing a tree-hugging druid on How We Roll, I'm Shagget. You can follow me on twitch.tv/Shagget, where I stream casually, or on Twitter, if you can figure this out, at eneb_convos. How's that for laziest outro ever? My ass sass. See you guys.
Jane? Jane, what are you doing? You gotta record your outro. Jane? She's dead.
Hi, Jane's dead, but it's me, Jane's Spooky Ghost. You can follow me on my spooky adventures at Jane on Twitch with a 0. That's it. I'll talk to you guys later when you're dead. Please.
What's up, everyone? It's your boy, the Snuggler. Oh man, is it my 3rd campaign already? If you guys do want to follow me, I'm pretty active on Twitter at MaddieSweetTweet. And if this didn't scratch your D&D itch, Chris Tassix and I have a new podcast coming out. You can find out more information about that if you go to www.newcritsontheblock.com. Jane put it right there for everyone to see. We hope you guys go and check it out and enjoy it. Until next time.
Hi, friends and fans. It's me, Christy. Okay, that's good. I'm new and scared, like a lost little baby bear cub in big spooky woods of streaming. But luckily, my mentors Snugs and Jane are here to guide me through with grace and wisdom and beauty and muscles and beauty again, but mostly muscles. Jane said I could promote my art and my D&D podcast. That's all I can say about that, because she also said that hogging the spotlight is selfish and ugly. So, thanks for everything, Snugs and Jane. This is Crispy, saying sayonara.
Hi there, I'm Gorbad. Welcome to the Orc's Nest. I'm the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, and if you'd like to follow me personally, you can do so on Twitter at Gorbad. Check out thedmblog.com for all things Dungeon Master and Dungeons & Dragons related. And of course, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Gorbad. Also, guys, don't forget to keep up with all things How We Roll. Follow us on Twitter at How We Roll. Check out the website www.howweroll.com, and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. Cheers, guys.